Hello everyone, I am so happy to see you. According to YouTube Analytics, over 70% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. If you guys want Pugsley to eat this month, I suggest you do so. Enjoy the video guys, love you forever and always. Hello everyone, today I will be making an item tier list for Gnar, ranking his best and worst items. Last time I did a video like this, you guys really enjoyed it, so I am going to be doing another one. So in today's video, I will be ranking his legendary and mythical items. I don't know rank these items, they're just not that important. Let's rank all of the mythical and legendary items. So let's get right into it. So in the tier list, we have broken tier, S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and F tier. Let's go ahead and start with the tier list. I think this item is called Battle Song. It's a support item. I imagine it's F tier. No support item really is good on Gnar unless we'll see. Let's get into the tier list. This is the mana staff item. Gnar does not take mana, so that's automatic F tier. Same with Mana Immune, F tier. The support healing reduction item, don't know what it's called. Okay, here we go, an actual item that we can rank. So Guardian Angel, I would say he does build often. I would say it's an A tier. It's pretty good in the mid to late game. You can it's a broken item. You can revive back into the team fight and help your teammates win it. So it gives armor, damage, so it's not too bad. You can also sell the item for a different item if you've used the passive in its late game, so decent item. Let's go on to Infinity Edge. It does have stats that you can use on Gnar. It's not a mana item, but you need health and resistances on Gnar to really survive. So we're gonna put it in D tier. However, this is a pretty good for fun item, so we'll put it in D tier. Let's see. Mortal Reminder, I think this is. We'll put this in D tier as well. We might change this to C tier. This will be on top of D tier, I guess, because it is a healing reduction item and it does give damage and attack speed, and it is pretty cheap. So it's not the best item on Gnar, but it's considerable. I considered building it before, but let's go on to the next item. Lord Dominic's, same thing as Infinity Edge. It gives good stats for damage, but it doesn't have a lot of resistances. Yeah. That's all I have to say for that item. Oh, Medjai's. You guys might be surprised, but I think I'm gonna put this in C tier. Dark Seal actually is not a bad item on Gnar. If you're snowballing, the W and R ratio, like AP ratios, can be crazy, like unexpected, and then it's a pretty low cost item. So I might put this on top of D tier, just because I never build it or anything, but it's definitely better than these items, I would say, especially if you're snowballing, because you spend 1600 gold and you get like how much AP, like 120 if it's maxed or something, so it's not horrible. But we'll just put it on top of D tier. Might not be as good as Immortal Reminder, so we'll just put it there. Mana Immune, F tier. Mana item, okay. Ninja Tabi, I would say this is S tier because it's one of his best boots. People may not think so. I'm ranking it in S tier because the 12% reduced damage from it is just broken, and the movement speed and armor that you get as well, pretty good item to rush early. I think this is the upgraded version of the staff. Let's just put it in F tier. This is a support item. I think this also gives mana, but you do get resistances, so I will put it at the top of F tier, I guess. Sterak's Gauge. Okay, this is definitely it's either S tier or broken. Let's put it in broken, I think, because you build this item so much on Gnar. The passive that you get with its shield, it's just so broken, and you get healing from it, health, damage. It's just really broken. Like the passive in team fights is crazy. Like you could be almost dead and then you get a shield that shields you for like 1200 health. I think it's better than other shield items like Maw and Stoneplate. It's just so good. So we'll put it in the first item in broken there. Spirit Visage. This is an okay item on R. We'll put it in B tier for now. I might move it down to C, but I like building this item, like I said in my tier list video with Sterox Gauge and stuff. Sorry, I got a drink of water. I like to build this item with Sterox Gauge, especially when there's a lot of AP champions on the enemy team. Also, if you have supports on your team that can heal and shield you, this is a pretty decent item, so we'll put it in B tier. Sunfire. Okay, so this isn't the worst mythic on Gnar. We'll put this in B tier as well for now. The mythic's just okay. If they have like a lot of CC on the team, it's an okay mythic to go, but I only build it for fun. I don't really build it seriously, so the health and passive and all the resistances are good on him, but it's just an okay item overall, because, you know, obviously the other mythics just give better stats. Okay, Black Cleaver. I'm gonna put this in S tier. It isn't broken because you don't really use it as much on Gnar this season, because you just have Divine. It's just so much better. But whenever there's tanks on the enemy team, this is definitely a great item to go for. Okay guys, I am sorry, my power actually went out. So let's just get back into the tier list. I was talking about Black Cleaver. Yeah, it's S tier, I believe, so we'll just leave it there. Bloodthirster, I would say this is somewhere in D tier. Lifesteal actually isn't horrible on Gnar. It's just, you know, building damage like this is very risky, especially when you're not ahead, so we'll put it somewhere in D tier, I guess. I mean, I like the item, but it's just not the best on Gnar, especially when people can build, what was that shielding item called? Serpent's Fang, that's what it is. So, I mean, we'll put it in D tier, not the best item. Ravenous Hydra. This might be my first C tier item. What is it called? It's this item, but I forgot what it's called. Those items aren't too bad on Gnar. Hydra items are not too bad on Gnar. I believe Titanic Hydra definitely is better than Ravenous Hydra, but you know, it is still there. It's okay to build, but not the best item. It gives some damage and some Omnivamp. I do believe it's better than these items, so we'll put it in C tier. Thornmail. So this tank item is actually pretty good on Gnar. We'll put it in the A tier because it's probably his best Grievous Wounds item. I don't think it's his best armor item, but I definitely do think it's his best Grievous Wounds item. The only downside is that it doesn't give as much armor as you would like it to. I think it used to give more armor before, but it's still a pretty decent item. We'll put it in A tier. Trinity Force. So I did not include this in my guide, but I do believe it's better than Sunfire. Let's put it in A tier. This item is pretty good whenever there's no tanks on the team. It's a pretty good snowball item. I like to build it whenever there's one or less tanks on the team. So we'll put this in A tier. The stats it gives aren't horrible. It's just that it doesn't give a lot of health. I like items that give health on Gnar. So we'll put this in A tier. It isn't too horrible. Also like the attack speed that it gives, so yeah. Warbogs. Rarely build this, but we'll put it at B tier, I guess. It's better than this item, so we'll put it at the bottom of B tier. This item just isn't that good on Gnar because your main focus is to go all in team fights, and you can't really go out to regain your health, so we'll put it in B tier. Runons. Okay, so this is where a lot of controversy is. I did not include this in my guide that much, but I love this item. We're gonna put it in A tier. This item is so underrated. For preference, I'm putting this in S tier. This is my tier list, so I'm putting this in S tier. I don't build this much in ranked, but whenever I'm snowballing, this item is sleeper OP. You don't like, the stats are pretty okay on it, and the main reason why this is an S tier is because of its passive. Its passive is so good. You can clear waves so much faster in Mini Gnar. That's one of its negatives in Mini Gnar. You do not have much wave clear. This helps you wave clear. And also another thing people do not notice about this item, you get Mega Gnar so much faster. So that's why I love this item. In team fights, it's also really good. Very underrated. We need to do more testing with Runons as Gnar mains. So, I mean, you can debate in the comments, but I'm leaving that an S tier for now. Witsin, I also believe this is an S tier item. I don't, should I put it in broken? I'm gonna put it in broken because this is his best MR item. So, I mean, it's the most broken MR item in the game as well. Remember the tears, like a couple patches ago, every single ADC was building this, on-hit ADC was building this, anyone with on-hit effects just build this, so any bruiser builds this, so it's good on Gnar because of the damage, the resistance, the attack speed, and the scaling damage into the late game. Like, Gnar is a scaling champion into the mid to late game, so this is a very good item on him. Best MR item. The rest of the MR items are okay, just not as good as Blitzin, so that is why it is broken. See, Lichbane, I would put this in bottom of D tier. I mean, it's better than these items, so I mean, I have to put it here. It gives some stats for Gnar. It is a Sheen item, so we'll just put it there. Banshee's Veil, again, it's like a bottom of D tier. It does give some resistances and AP, so I mean, I have to rate it above these mana items and support items. Redemption, we'll just put an F tier. I mean, actually, this is going to be debatable, but we'll put it in F tier. Put it on top of F tier. I know support tanks build this, like Shen and Ornn can build this type of item, but we don't really see that on Gnar. I'm going to put, what is this item called? Frozen Heart in D tier. I know it has mana, but it can be a decent tank item. Just, you don't really see this built on Gnar, but it definitely is better than the F tier items. Nashor's Tooth, I want to put this in C tier. It's definitely more useful than the crit items and other AP items. This is probably one of Gnar's best AP items. Similar to Witsin, it does give a lot of on-hit AP damage, so that's decent as well. And the attack speed. The only problem is that it's not give any type of resistance, so that is C tier for now. Rylai's, I would say this is D tier as well. I don't know, we'll just put it there. I mean, it does give some resistances, but there's better slowing items in the game for Gnar. Rageblade, I'm gonna put this in C tier as well. The reason this is C tier too, because it is one of the better on-hit items for Gnar. It is one of the better on-hit items for Gnar because the stats it gives, and it's cheap, so I'll put this on top of C tier. I might move this to B tier later because it does have good combos, but you rarely see it. I mean, I know a Gnar main that builds this item, so what is this called? It's one of the QSS items, I think. We'll put it in D tier. I mean, it does give some resistances. I don't know how to order these. We'll put that there. I don't know. I mean, it's not the best item on Gnar. Yomu's, lethality is not that good on Gnar. I'll put it in D tier though. There's gonna be a lot of D tier items. I might have to move some later, but for now let's put it there. I mean, it does give some pretty okay movement speed stats, but it's not the best on Gnar. It's good for fun Gnar, but okay, here we go. Randuin's Omen. I'm saying this is broken. This is Gnar's best armor item by far. If you watch pro games, every single pro player pretty much builds this. If there's AD champions on an enemy team, you might see a Thornmail every now and then, but Randuin's is the item to go. The reason why is because its armor passive is broken. Its item passive is broken, and it's good against crit champions, which we see a lot nowadays. Also, the fact that you can slow down champions and let them take less damage, that's crazy. And it gives pretty okay stats for 2,700 gold. This is why it's broken. This is why you see Gnar pros build it a lot. Okay, Rocket Bell, again, I mean, it does give some stats, so it's definitely better than the support items. This can be experimented though. It could potentially be a C tier item, but because like it's similar to old Stridebreaker, but you know, it is an AP item, so I'm gonna put it in D tier. Blade of the Ruin King, I'm gonna put this on top of C tier. I might put this in B tier later, like with Rageblade, but you know, the only problem with Blade of the Ruin King is that it just doesn't give any type of resistances. It does give some sustain, so I'll put it at the bottom of B tier for now because it does give some sustain and the stats are pretty good on Gnar, like the attack speed and damage. So we'll put it at the bottom of B tier for now. A Maw. Okay, I do not like this item. I'm putting this at the bottom. I'll put it at the bottom of B tier as well. I mean, the only reason I'm putting it here is because at least it gives MR and a shield, like a shield like Sterax, but you rarely build this item, so I'd still think Bork is better than it. These items are better than it. You rarely build this. I don't like the item. Some Gnar mains do. It's based on preference. That's what this tier list is. I think I'm gonna move Rageblade up then, to like right there then. Okay, Hourglass. I will say this is actually a decent AP item on Gnar, Hourglass. It gives armor and some AP, so I mean it isn't the worst thing in the world. But the reason why this item is above some of the other AP items is because of the stopwatch effect. The stopwatch is broken. We all know it, so it can be very clutch from dodging an ultimate that could potentially just one-shot you. So this is why it's in C tier. It's just, I know a Diamond Gnar main that quit recently, built it whenever he's snowballing, so we'll put this in C tier. Don't know if I'll move it. Morello Lana, I don't know how to say it, Morello, we'll just say Morello. We'll put this in D tier as well. I mean, it's better than some of the support items, so we'll put that there. What is this called? I forgot what this is called, but I know it's a lethality item. We'll put it in D tier. Sanguine's Blade, I don't think this is in the game anymore. Let's yeah, okay, this was replaced with Hullbreaker, so we'll just say this is Hullbreaker. Let's put it in C tier. I mean, I don't build it that much, but some Gnar mains do. I don't really like it because you team fight a lot with Gnar, so I'm just gonna put it in C tier. This is Hullbreaker, by the way, so if you're wondering, that's what that is. I would say this was one of the better support mythics for Gnar, so we'll put it at the bottom of D tier. It's definitely better than some of these that give barely any stats that are good at all. So the shield is pretty decent, but I'm never gonna build it ever. Stoneplay, I would say this is at least at the top of B, potentially A tier. This item is not built as much anymore just because you never really get into the late game where you can build it as your 6th item, but whenever you do, it could be pretty good. So I might potentially move this into the A tier later, but for now let's put it in the B tier. This item's good because it gives both armor and MR, and the shield active is pretty good. It could be very clutch. It's kind of like Sterax Gauge, but I just feel like Sterax Gauge is more reliable in many ways. The only problem with this item pretty much is that it doesn't give health, and you really need health on Gnar. Next, Battle Song, I think. I don't know what this item's called. We're just gonna put it in F tier because support item. Same with Ardent, support. Essence Reaver, let's put this in D tier. I think it's like a mana item as well, so it isn't the best on Gnar. We'll just put that in D tier. Demon's Plate. Okay, this item used to be good. I'm gonna put this in probably like right here above Bork. Now if this was early season 11 Demon's Plate, this would automatically go to A or S tier, but you know, it's got nerfed a lot. It's not as good as it used to be, but it still is a decent tank item. It's just we would rather go like the Thornmail or Randuin's pretty much over Deadman's at any time. Okay, up next is Water, I forgot what it's called, but we're putting in F tier because it is a support item. Edge of Night, we'll put this in D tier. It does give a little bit of health, but it is a lethality item, so I'm just gonna put this in D tier. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna move this Mortal Reminder up to C tier, and yeah, I mean this is definitely better than these items that I've been listing, so we'll put that in C tier for now. Imperial Mandate, support item. Force of Nature, okay, I'm gonna put this right next to Deadman's Plate, because Force of Nature, I mean, it's been lacking all season. It's not the best MR item ever. I would rather go Spirit Visage or Wits End any day, but I will go this if their entire team is AP, and it definitely is better than Maul in my opinion. I don't know the stat. I like adaptive helm way more than this whenever adaptive helm was an item, so we'll just put it in B tier. It's still a decent tank item. I think this is Horizon Focus. Gnar doesn't really have any abilities I can do with this, so I'm just gonna put it in F tier. I think this is Horizon Focus. Sorry if I'm wrong. Cosmic Drive, same. Like, he doesn't have any stats to really, or abilities to really utilize with this. I don't really like the item. We'll put it in F tier. Rift Maker. Okay, so this is probably one of the better AP mythics for Gnar. It's right there with Hex Tech, Rocket Belt, so I'll just put it next to each other. Why not? There we go. Okay, I mean, the stats are okay. It's just you only get a little bit of health and only 2 of his abilities scale with AP, so that's why I'm putting that there. Not the best AP item for Gnar. Night Harvester, I don't really like the item either, so we'll just put it in F tier. It does give some healing, but you don't really need that much on Gnar whenever Divine's a thing. So Demonic Embrace, I'll put this in D tier. I mean, it's definitely better than these items down here. I guess the burn is okay, and you do get some health, so I don't know. A lot of these items in here, I'm just guessing where I should put them in D or F tier. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's in D or F tier, it's pretty much not usable on Gnar. I mean, it's a little bit usable, not a lot. QSS, I forgot what this was called. Silver Dawn, I think. This item, I'll put in C tier. Why not? I mean, this is a very situational item. You don't really build the full item. You just build QSS for like a Malzahar ulti or a Mordekaiser ulti or something like that. Something like just some CC that's annoying you. QSS as an item itself, I would probably put it in B or A tier, but we're doing full legendary mythical items, so we'll just say this is a C tier item. Death Stance. Okay, I'm actually gonna put this in. I want to put this above Deadman's Play in B tier. This item actually isn't horrible whenever there's like 3 or 4 plus AD champions on the enemy team. I do think it gives better stats than Deadman's Plate though, because of the takedown health that you restore. So I mean, the only downside is that you don't get as much resistances as some items, but it is a good snowball item. Okay, next is Chimpunk Chainsword. I'm gonna put this one in B tier as well. I might have to change some of this. I might have to bump some up to A tier. But Chimpunk, this is a pretty good. He's probably Gnar's second best Grievous Wounds item. This item is pretty good whenever whenever the enemy team has AP healing champions like Gwen. This is a pretty good item, but you rarely build it fully, so we'll just put it in B tier. I'm going to go ahead and adjust some things, so I think Stoneplate can definitely go up to A tier. Spirit Visage probably can too. I would say Death Stance can as well. I'm just going to adjust it like that for now. I might change it again in the future. Okay, Moonstone, not good on Gnar. Gore Drinker, okay, I'm gonna say this is this used to be an S tier item back in the early days, but since they just changed it, honestly think it's like a B tier at best mythic on Gnar, because the Omnivamp is definitely not as good as the old active it had. Like in team fights, you used to heal like 500, 600 health. Now you only heal like probably like 300, 400. You have to get pretty lucky to get good use out of this item now. So we'll put it in B tier. Back then, this would be an A or S tier item. Stridebreaker, same. This item is just barely B tier. It's definitely better than some of these items, but this mythic, I'll put, it's pretty much tied with Gore Drinker, I would guess. It's probably tied with Gore Drinker because, you know, this item pretty much got gutted on Gnar whenever the dash was taken away from it. This item pretty much got gutted, so the stats are still pretty good on him. It's just, you know, it's definitely not as good as some of the other items that Gnar has now. Okay, here we go. Probably the most broken item on Gnar, Divine Sundra. As soon as this item got like 3 or 4 buffs in a row, like with the healing and something else like the passive on it. I mean, it's gotten nerfed I think once or twice, but it's still so broken on Gnar. The healing on it, the damage, the health, everything Gnar needs. And the fact that it's a Sheen item as well just make it so much, you know, broken. That's why this is probably the #1 item in R. You know, the combos in Mega Gnar also help him heal so much. This combined with Sterak's Gauge, probably one of the best combos in the game for Gnar. So that is why it is broken. Leandries, I'm just gonna put this in F tier. It doesn't give health anymore. Like before, this could be like a C tier item in season 10, but the fact that it doesn't give health and it just gives mana now, it's pretty useless on Gnar. Luden's Echo, this is another F tier mythic item. I mean, the mana on it is not good on Gnar, and there's just gonna be better AP mythic items for Gnar. Everfrost, I'm gonna put this in D tier. I mean, the CC on it is okay. That's why the only reason it's in D tier, and the health as well. So yeah, it's pretty explanatory. The CC on it is pretty decent. Frostfire, okay, finally another tank item. Okay, so I think Frostfire is actually pretty decent on Gnar. It's better than Sunfire Cape in my opinion. I go with this item whenever like your team really needs a tank. Like let's say your team just locks in 4 champs that does a lot of damage. Frostfire can actually be pretty decent, especially whenever you already have champions that's already building Divine Sundra, like Ezreal or Trundle in the jungle. You can definitely go this item for a tank on your team. I like Frostfire because sometimes, especially in matchups that you can go ahead and one-shot them, Mr. Popper has really, which is a diamond main by the way, has really brought this item pretty well into his arsenal. Frostfire Gauntlet actually isn't bad. This is pretty good because this reminds me of old Frozen Mallet, because you get, whenever you have full build, you're getting over 700 health with this, resistances, and the slow passive, which makes it better than Frozen Mallet. The old Frozen Mallet, I mean. So I would put this in the A tier actually. Okay, I forgot what this item is called, but it's the tank item tank mythic that makes you go fast. I'll just put this in C tier, I guess. It definitely isn't as good as Stride or Gore, but okay, it's just gonna stay right there. I mean, it's like Predator, but it just isn't as good on Gnar. But it is decent because of the tank stats, so that's why we put it there. Gale Force, I'm gonna put this in D tier. It's definitely more useful than the F tier items. The dash on it reminds me of old Stridebreaker, but the cooldown's too big and you don't really get any. The only good stats you get are the attack speed and the damage, but you get no resistances, so that's why it is D tier. If it had some health, then maybe. Kraken Slayer, I'm also gonna put this in D tier. If it, again, the same situation, if it had health, it would be a tier above, but you know, you need resistances on Gnar in the early game. Immortal Shield Bill, I'm gonna put this in C tier as well. The main reason is it actually isn't too horrible on Gnar. You get lifesteal, damage, and attack speed, and the shielding passive actually isn't too bad on him. The only problem with this item is I feel like it just isn't as good as the other bruiser and tank mythics on Gnar, but I know some Gnar mains that actually go like prefer Immortal Shield Build, so it's just what you prefer. I've tried going this item, tried testing with it. I just don't feel like it's as good, but maybe some more experimenting, maybe this item can go up to the B or A tier. The Vori Quickblade, I was gonna put this in D tier as well. I mean, it's better than some of these items, but it's okay in Mega Gnar because you get your cooldowns more with every crit, but I don't really like it that much, so it's in D tier. Collector, same thing, it's a crit item. Pretty much all the crit items going in D tier unless it has a little bit of use. Forgot what this called. Duskblade, I'm just gonna put this in D tier because it does give more stats than these items. Don't really like the stats it gives because it's lethality, but you know, is what it is. I think this is Eclipse. I'll put this at the top of D tier just because like it does give some shields, which is okay on Gnar, but then again it is a lethality item, so it's kind of hard to do anything because you're probably just getting one shot with the item. Prowess Claw, probably the most useful lethality item in Gnar because again it's kind of like old Stridebreaker. Stridebreaker was broken, by the way. Old Stridebreaker was. So we'll put that at top of D tier. Sorella's Grudge, D tier again, lethality item. It does give a little bit of slow, but I don't know where to put these. In D tier, they're just getting some like, okay, Serpent String. Okay, this item probably one of Gnar's best lethality items. I'll put this in C tier. It's very situational. If there's a lot of shielding champions on the enemy team, it's definitely really good. The only problem is no resistances. You need resistances on Gnar, but the damage is okay. So that's why it is in C tier, because it's with passive and damage. Titanic Hydra. Okay, so this is one of the better items on Gnar. I'm going to put this in probably B tier or A tier. I don't know yet. I'm going to put this somewhere on top of A tier or B tier. For now, I might change this later, but Titanic Hydra is a pretty good snowballing item. If you combine this item with Runons and Rage Blades, you can snowball very hard. But again, you don't really snowball that hard on Gnar unless like you're like hyper carrying. So this is why the item's just in B tier, because it isn't as reliable as the other items. I'm putting this. I think I'm putting it too high. Let's put it like around Bork area. Yeah, I think that's cool because these items are more reliable here. I think Titanic isn't horrible on Gnar. It's just that the stats aren't as good unless you combine it with like a Runons and Rage Blade, which you rarely get to do. So that's why I'll put it in B tier for now. I really love this item. I think I might put this in A. I don't know. Yeah, I'll put it in A tier. I need to move some items to S tier, I believe. I think I'll move Guardian Angel to S tier and Thornmail to S tier. That looks better. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next item. Abyssal Mask. Okay, so this isn't the worst tank item on our. We'll put it in B tier, like right here. We don't build this very much because actually I'm gonna put this behind Maul. I think Maul is definitely better than Abyssal Mask. Abyssal Mask just doesn't give us much stats. However, Season 12 Abyssal Mask looks pretty okay. So this could be potentially top of B tier, A tier item. We'll have to test with it. But you only really mobilize champions in Mega Gnar, so that's why the item isn't as good. Okay, let's see. Knight's Vow. This is probably one of the better support items on Gnar. I'll put it in D tier around this area. I mean, I only build it if I'm building Frostfire Gauntlet, and I rarely do that now. So, but Knight's Vow combined with it is pretty decent because let's say you have a Vladimir, like a hyper carry Vladimir or a hyper carry Yasuo. It's a decent item to have in late game situations. I'm saying that in a D tier item, but I used to experiment with this item and it isn't as bad as F tier items. Okay, we're getting to the last items here. What is this item called? Essence Reaver? I forgot, but this is just a D tier item, I would say. It's a crit item, it's not good. I mean, I like the magic damage that you get with it, but I mean, the attack speed's okay, but again, you need resistances on Gnar, so that I'll just leave it in D tier. Phantom Dancer, I'm gonna put this in C tier. It's one of the better crit items, but the only downside, of course, is no resistances, but you do get a pretty good passive with the movement speed with the ghosting, and you get damage attack speed, so it isn't horrible, but do not recommend to build it. Rapid Fire Cannon, I'll just put this in D tier. Not much to say. It gives damage, attack speed, extra range, but no resistances again. Then I think this is an item that destroys wards, lethality item. So, or D tier, I guess. I don't know. Lethality is not good on Gnar. So I'm gonna make some last minute changes. Let's see. I definitely think these four probably are his best items. S, this is looking pretty okay. Where is Mercury Treads? Why is only Ninja Tabi on here? Oh well. We'll leave it there. A tier, Trinity, Stoneplate, Spirit Visage, Death's Dance. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I could move some tank items up to A tier, but we mostly build these items in games. Well, I do. This is what I mostly build. So yeah, I think this is the tier list for now. I'll probably update this again before season 12 starts or whenever season 12 starts, but this is my season 11 tier list for Gnar. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know any videos you want me to do in the future. I am wanting to do a runes tier list for Gnar in the future. So if this video does decent, we will do that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will love you forever and always.
Winter night, the whole city's covered.